In November of 2024, Scott the Woz announced the U2's vinyl figure, a figure I have solely pre-ordered for the Woz desk add-on to pose with my other action figures. He also announced 3 massive video projects to be completed before 2024's end, and sadly, none of these videos have come out by the year's end, or even now by the time I'm writing this, and it's kind of become a recurring issue for the main Scott the Woz channel. Of course, you can get your near-weekly fix of Scott and the crew on Scott Stash and unscripted hangout videos, but for those who prefer their Scott more tightly scripted, it's been a struggle to find that stuff, especially when Scott used to pride himself on weekly Sunday uploads for the first few years of the main channel. So what happened? Well, pretty simply a thing that happens to a lot of YouTubers after doing this for so long. A thing called feature creep. This is usually used in video game discussion, but can also apply to any artistic medium where the scope of a project bloats so out of control that said project could be stuck in development hell for quite a bit. To give context, Scott started his YouTube show by himself in his room yapping about Nintendo games with the occasional skit here and there, but now he's got his funny friends as recurring side characters in nearly every episode, bigger topics to tackle, and more eyeballs on his work than ever before, so these videos keep getting larger and larger, and now we're at a production standstill for the long-awaited trinity of LEGO games, Wii U Retrospective Part 3, and Mario Party 3 videos. There's so many moving parts to the Scott the Woz channel now that it's becoming unsustainable to keep the once-weekly upload schedule, which hurts for longtime fans like me who were there for the golden era, but it ultimately makes sense. Don't get me wrong, I still love a lot of the modern episodes, and the addition of Scott's funny friends is one I never replace for the world, but it is a bit sad to see a once beacon of creative consistency fall under the same pressure so many of us fell into. This was bound to happen. I know some people are mad at Scott, but he is human just like the rest of us, and as someone who's been attempting semi-weekly uploads for nearly 3 years at this point, I honestly get where he's coming from, and I appreciate him taking the time. Much like Mr. The Woz, I can't keep going weekly forever, and there's gonna be a day where I burn myself out and take a break. Hell, I thought that day was soon until inspiration struck me of this very topic. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, big videos are cool and all, but sometimes less is more, both for the audience and the creatives making the stuff. I know so many people who want to start their YouTube channels with an hour-plus long epic, but get paralyzed when trying to work on the full thing. Some people can pull it off as their first, but it can't work with everyone, especially as a starter project to a new medium you're trying out. Some people need to get their feet wet before they can swim in the ocean. It may take a bit to get your footing, but creativity is like a muscle you need to exercise, whether for yourself or in front of others for constructive critique. Will Scott be able to move on to more digestible projects after finishing the 3 epics currently in progress? I don't know, and I'm not one to tell him. I'm just a fan of way too many thoughts on this silly little web series about stupid Nintendo games thinking about it too hard.